going on? What's going on? Good evening. Happy Thursday to you. Welcome to Pro Fan Talk. My name is Marcus Thomas. I certainly appreciate you joining me. A lot of stuff to go over. Man. It is just the NFL is the gift that keeps on giving. Baseball's in the mix again. Man, we rocking and rolling. Crazy week. Eagles still getting it done. And here in Philadelphia, you can't tell us nothing because we getting it done on both sides of the ball the right way. That's what's up. Appreciate y'all joining me. My mom's number one out the limo. I appreciate your mom. Love you. Pops number two. My dad number two. TK number three out the limo. My grandson Chris number four out the limo. Rounded it off. My granddaughter Sarah number five. All family. That's what I'm talking about. And we're going to keep going up and up and up. And one of the things I gotta keep reminding myself to do while you guys are on YouTube, you see that little thumbs up button? That is the like button. Smash that like button. We got to get with the YouTube algorithms and everything that goes with that. Anthony Allen, what's good? So we got a lot of stuff going on, man. A lot of stuff. But we going into week number 5. The Eagles have a legit shot at being 5-0. But before we do that, let me back up for a minute. Hold on. Let me back up for a minute. All right. Got to give a shout out, man. Got to give the shout out right now. Fighting Fields in the playoffs, y'all. You better recognize. Fighting Fields are in the playoffs. We may have limped at the end and had Band-Aids and pro wrap with limbs falling off, but we made it to the playoffs. Once you in the playoffs, anything can happen. It's a game by game. You win every game is a whole new series. So from here on, all bets are off. You start from ground zero. Everybody's in the same spot. So let's see if we can make something happen. Congrats to the Fields. First time since 2011. That's what's up. First time since 2011. But it's game week. We going down to the Cardinals. Got to put it on them. A lot of talk. We are the darlings of the media right now. I always get nervous when that stuff happens because I mean people are talking about us, and Philadelphia is a underdog city. You know, from the Kelsey speech to just our mindset. We don't like being at the top of the heap because we like to fight for it. Yeah, I remember Jason Kelsey's presser beginning of the year, like, hey, we ain't done an effing thing, man. Jake, what's good, bro? Kyler will get over 200, but I don't see the Cardinals score many points. Okay. Greg, what's good, dude? Jake, I ain't going to disagree with you, but I'm thinking that the Eagles defense, they got to put something in place to contain them. And Frank, what's good, brother? And one of the things that in watching some of my film study, we're going to watch, I just got two quick clips that I brought up for the Cardinals. Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is small. I know Jalen Hurts is 6 foot, right? So that's the bare minimum, in my opinion, you got to be for a QB. Well, I'm not going to say that. But when you're that small, you do have there are certain disadvantages that you have to deal with. And one of the things that we have to take advantage of is we have to get into Kyler Murray's throwing lanes. You know what? Let me bring this up right now because Kyler Murray, in my opinion, his arm is stronger than Jalen's. He's a little bit quicker than Jalen. I think their overall speed might be the same, but he's a little bit more shifty. Now this is what I want to show you. If you look at the two ends, right? Watch how they come up. This is nothing. There's not a sack or anything, but I just want you to watch we put the pressure on Kyler. He's got to get rid of the ball about a half second too early. Pete Evans, what's going on, bro? Derry, what's good, fam? Kyler's got to throw the ball a half tick too early, right? And watch the trajectory that he throws the ball. He gets the ball like super high. Like he throw the ball high like Achilles Smith used to throw the ball. Like the arc he's got to throw. I don't think he wanted to do that because he's got a man open. I believe that's Hollywood Brown down at the bottom. It's hard to tell from this angle, but he's got a shot to get the ball, but the pass is just not there because I'm thinking that he's kind of throwing blind. At the end, I don't think he can see where he's trying to throw the ball because he's got the defensive end in his face. He had him. And Kyler's put some balls on the money. So his accuracy is pretty daggone good. But watch how they come and they attack his throwing lanes. They're right in his field of vision, right? So he's got to get the ball higher than he would normally want to. So that definitely has an effect on him. Now, the flip side of that is the dude is basically Barry Sanders at quarterback. He is that shifty. He is that quick. If you don't contain him, he will get outside and he will burn you. So we have to play good contain. Our secondary has to stay committed to coverage because he is the master. Right now, he is the master at extending plays. Jalen can run and Jalen can make some plays happen. But when you extend the play, that means you're running back there for extra, 5 to 6 seconds. And that's a lifetime when you're trying to cover somebody. It's hard enough to cover somebody at full regular speed for the length of time it usually takes to run a play. Now you got somebody scrambling around, and just like you was kids, you trying to, you playing football in the backyard with your cousins, and you say, I don't run a pattern, just get open. So you backdrop, and all you doing is almost like you playing one-on-one basketball, trying to get open on somebody. You making moves, the spinning and doing all of that kind of stuff. That's the type of stuff that happens when Kyler Murray is running around back there buying time. The things he can do in that situation, nobody else can do that. Not Jalen, not Lamar, nobody. Lamar will take off. Jalen will take off. Kyler will float. He'll run. He'll back up. Kyler's a master at it right now. Mahomes can do it too. Mahomes definitely buys himself some time. And he freelances. And you can't really, it's hard to cover when a quarterback is freelancing because you never know what somebody's going to do. What's up, twin? My twin sisters in the building. Also, before we go any further, before I get to my next clip, got to give a shout out to my granddaughter, Jay. I know she's not watching because she's probably at cheer practice. The girl's doing everything, but she's playing field hockey for Lewis Middle School, had her first hat trick tonight. 3 goals. They won 4-0. She had 3 of them. That's what I'm talking about. So if you ever see this, if somebody get a clip, love you, Jay. Proud of you. Keep getting it done. But Kyler, you got to contain him. You got to contain him. He does not like to step up. Also, back to my original point about those throwing lanes and his size, if he has to step up in the pocket, that means he's right behind those 6'4", 6'5", and 6'6" offensive linemen. And you know he can't see past them. The only way he can see past the line is if he's like a 8-step drop. He's 8 to 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage and still backing up. So if you make him step up in the pocket, he's got to get closer, and you got people in your face. So now you cut off that vision. You cut off those throwing lanes and where he can see. He doesn't know what's going on. That's when you lock him down and you can get him. So Hassan Reddick, BG, Sweat, they're going to have a time keeping him contained. And you gotta play with it. The minute you commit, he's going to burn you. And when I say, and I'm talking about defensive ends, if they commit if they take off and try to get outside of him, he's going to dip right underneath you, get right back outside, and go to the sticks. If you crash inside, he's going to dip right around you and get outside and get to the sticks. Or he's going to deliver the ball because somebody's popping open. Tough pull, Tom. I don't know. I that's just one of the things. If we can keep him under 200 yards passing, that means nobody's going off. Nobody's going off. Are they going to be looking at Zach Ertz? I don't know. Are they going to be trying to get him the ball a little bit extra? But it's going to be a battle of the quarterbacks. It's the Oklahoma. It's the battle of Oklahoma right now. And I do remember, if you guys been following me a little bit on my social, we talking about receipts. I do remember last year when Kyler was going through all of his stuff with the Cardinals, and it wasn't looking good at the time, and he was erasing his social media account and all of that kind of stuff. And I did hear the rumors, not rumors, but I did hear people talking about, I wouldn't mind seeing Kyler Murray up here in Philadelphia. So it's people, we had some talk about that. You don't want to talk about that now. Because clearly, Jalen Hurts right now is the better quarterback. Chucks, what's going on, bro? Clearly right now, Jalen Hurts is the better quarterback. And not for nothing, one of the better quarterbacks in the league right now. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Jalen Hurts is one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. Right now. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Right now. So, I don't think Jalen's going to do anything different to try to show out or, media makes too much out of that. But it's going to be a good battle. It's definitely going to be a good battle. But I think we have the advantage. Again, I'm taking our defensive line over their offensive line. Just by watching tape, I'm looking at 67. I forgot to write down his name. Left guard for the Cardinals. He tends to drop his head a lot, so he's an easy swim. So our defensive ends and our defensive tackles, depending on what technique they're in, he gets beat with the swim technique. I didn't see him get beat across his face too much, but he jabs inside, and a couple of plays swam right around him. Doesn't handle twists too well, gets lost. So I think that's another opportunity we can take advantage of, because I think that's a weak spot. He also, I just saw this right before we came on the air. I was watching another piece of footage where it just doesn't. Here we go. I got this footage. He gives way too much ground. There we go. Watch the left guard. Nah, you know what? This is the wrong play. This is not even the play I'm thinking about. Let me see. Is this the play? Yeah, this is a different play. This might be it. Yeah, this is it. It is a good pass by Kyler, but I'm concentrating on specific people. And watch the left guard. Watch how far he gets, they get into his world. And he wasn't even coming hard. And maybe not such a great play. I'm you know what? I'm thinking this was a different play. This is not what I expected. But in any case, that is a spot where we can take advantage of that. So again, Hassan Reddick, he's on a roll, and not for nothing. Everybody's talking about reunions. I saw the thing on social where it was the Grim Reaper going from door to door. It was I forget who. Oh, it was Deuce Staley in Detroit. Then it was who's in Jalen Reagor in Minnesota. Then Peterson in Jacksonville, and this week it's Zach Ertz. And it was the Grim Reaper going door to door, and it was just a trail of blood. And I thought that was pretty clever. But the real reunion is Hassan Reddick going back to the desert. Hassan Reddick had 11 and a half sacks in 2020, and they let him walk. Very, very similar to what they did to what the Giants did with James Bradbury. James Bradbury was solid. The fans of New York did not want to lose Bradbury. He was solid in the back. And they let him walk for whatever reason. And right now he's working for Philadelphia. Hassan Reddick is working for Philadelphia. Hassan Reddick, now here's where they try to get you sometimes. Because Hassan had, I believe it was 11 or 11 and a half sacks in 2020. I believe it was against the Giants. He had 4 sacks. I think he had 12 sacks total. He had 4 sacks in one game. So let's take that game away. You know what? Let's take it down from 4. Let's just give him 1. That's still 9 sacks. Like, that's not a shoddy year. Take that one game off, and you still get 8 or 9 sacks. But there was some other, I want to say Chandler, I think it's Chandler Jones, was coming off an injury, and I guess it was they couldn't keep both of them. So they let him walk. They let him walk. Now, here's what happens, and this kind of goes back to what we've been saying about Jalen Hurts in the past and stuff like that, how people don't want to let young players develop. Jeremiah, I see you, bro. I appreciate you. What's up? Organizations that they drafted Hassan 2017, I believe. 2020 was basically his breakout year. So I think he only had 1 or 2 sacks his rookie year. I think he had maybe 4 sacks his second year. And all of a sudden, whatever they started doing in Arizona that third year, he took off. But I think they had already made up their mind on somebody else. But you got to give somebody a room. You got to give them room to grow. You got to give them room to grow, period. But guess what? He's working for Philadelphia now, so I appreciate it. But that's going to be a reunion. I think we can handle Ertz. He's probably going to get his. But I think Hassan Reddick is going to make an impact. We've had 2 out of the last 3 weeks. We've had 2 defensive players be player of the week. We had Slay, and then we had Hassan. And that's what's up. Jalen was the 1 week, so we've had 3 Eagles the last 3 weeks, I believe. 2 defense. And I'm like, hey, you know how I feel. Defense wins championships. So, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, because it's a battle of the 2 Oklahoma quarterbacks. Similar styles, but right now, without question, Jalen Hurts is just on another level right now. Everything is slowing down for him. Everything. And everybody's out there that's like, hey, I'm not sold yet. And guess what? You have every right to be not sold yet. That is your prerogative. I'm sold. I'm sold. Because I always go back. I love how people like to move the goalposts. If you would have went back to the summer and not in your wildest imaginations would anybody have envisioned Jalen Hurts leading his team to a 4-0 record. The first quarter of the season, we undefeated. Nobody was thinking that. Nobody. And if anybody said it out loud, they would probably say you just a fanboy, you're a homer, and you're not thinking realistically. And you know what? They probably would have been right. But he's doing it. All of those intangibles that people talk about, first in, last out, leader on the field, leader of men, all of that stuff only comes into play when you're playing well. Because QB1 is the guy that's driving the bus. He's the guy that's driving the bus. So he sets the tone. He sets the thermometer, like Michael Irvin got all crazy for. He sets the thermometer of the room. And Jalen Hurts is keeping everybody on the even keel. I liked how in the press conference, he got a little upset that they asking all these questions. Didn't nobody bother to ask him about the Cardinals. And he put that to bed. He talked about the Cardinals. He mentioned that I have a good defense, and then he walked off the stage. And that's what you need. And that attitude is what's permeating itself through that whole locker room. Even check out what's the one? Here's the quote. I love this. I love this quote. Love this quote from the Camden boy. Hassan Reddick. Listen to this.
Excuse for anybody.
Do you think the weather played a factor at all in how easily you guys were able to generate some turnovers?
I mean, why? They played in the same weather we did. Why would we sit here and make weather an excuse for anybody? You know what I'm saying? We came out here and played in the same exact weather they did. Nobody was talking about weather when they went up 14-0 on us, was they? So we ain't going to make that excuse. They came out here and they played in the same exact environment that we played in.
Love that. Love that. Hassan Reddick. I was like, that's it right there. No excuses, good or bad. None. Was the weather a factor? Nah, they played in the same weather that we did. Wasn't nobody saying nothing about weather when it was 14-0 and we were down. Wasn't the weather's fault. And he's 100% right. Keep it real. Keep it 100 all the way through. Joseph Thies, what's good, man? Fly Eagles fly. I see you. So, like, that whole attitude is permeating through that locker room. And I love it. He's not going to be one of the more, I guess, obvious leaders. He's definitely one of the leaders on the defense. But because this is his first year with the team, people are going to still lead into Cox, even Marcus Epps, people that have been here for a minute, Slay. But a lot of times players like Hassan Reddick, players like Kazir White, you become a leader by what you do on the field. Don't say much, but I know he's going to make a play. I know he's going to make a play. And that's what we need. And we're turning heads. We've flipped the script on everybody that doubted what the Eagles could do or what Jalen Hurts could do. I've always thought that. If you see my man Chuck, the shows we've been on together, we talked about the same thing. Everybody underestimated what happens when a quarterback is in the same system for the second year. You got the answers to the test. You're taking the same test over again. So you know a little bit more. And that's the way it happens. And he's making the most of it. Not to mention all of the work he did, all the other stuff. Throwing mechanics, foot mechanics translated to throwing the ball better. Throwing the ball better turns out into throwing the ball on time, more velocity, more anticipation. All of that stuff slows down. So you see it. Hurts is the GOAT. Slow down with the GOAT, but he's getting it done. KZ, he's getting it done. That's all you need to know. And right now, he's getting it done at a consistently good level. And if he keeps that up, there's no telling. We'll make it to the playoffs if he keeps that up. But I just wanted to – I want to play this last clip for you, and I love this because I love Steve Smith. Steve Smith, like him or hate him, Steve Smith keeps it 100. He's telling the truth. He ain't lying. And this was the game that turned it around. After this game, we turned it around.
Game plan varies each week. Is based on his opponent.
Hold on. I got to rebound it.
And this offense is garbage, to be honest, just straight up. When I look at it, you see all the speed they have on the outside. You have a running back that's pretty much not used in the first half. You use them just a sprinkle in the second half, and look what it does. It puts you back in the game. To be honest, and I hate to use this, and it's probably not going to go well, but this offense is high school.
The best team in the NFL through 4
I watch them
weeks in your
switch.
estimation.
That was last year. This is this year.
Just remarkable to what they're doing. Nick Sirianno, what he's doing, he is, you can see his game plan varies each week, is based on his opponent.
That's what I'm talking about. James Washington, I see you. Repping Mississippi. But yo, Steve Smith keeps it 100. And he was absolutely right last year. That was the game where he finally started running the ball in the second half. And then after that game, that's when everything flipped. That's when everything flipped. I'm with you, Jeremiah. Just stay consistent in what he's doing. My goal, I wanted Jalen Hurts, if he could stay between 225 and 250 yards a game, at the end of the season, he would be over 4,000 yards. He's eclipsing that. Now he's looking like he's going to be within 275 and 300 yards every game. So if he stays there, he's going to be in the upper echelon of quarterbacks for passing yards, not for running the ball. Every time we win in these games where he's rushing for 20 and 30 yards a game, not 82 on 15 carries. 6 carries, 7 carries, 20 yards, 25 yards, something like that. As long as he's running to scramble out of a bad situation, and we're cutting down the RPOs. I still think we need to cut down the RPOs. I still think some of our red zone calls are suspect. I still don't like, and I will keep beating this dead horse. I still don't like all the running sideways stuff. I thought it was ludicrous that we were running sideways in the rain. I think Miles Sanders should have had close to 200 yards last week if they would have ran him more tackle to tackle, and either clearly they're not going to put Jalen Hurts under center unless they're trying to sneak something. But at least line him up in pistol. But get going downhill, and let's do what we can do. Put that young boy in there. Chuck, what's your boy's name? Trey Sermon. Stick Trey Sermon in there every now and then. And not for nothing, props to the Eagles offense because they finally used Miles Sanders as a number one back. Not many people peeped that out. They finally used Miles Sanders as a number one back. And what I mean by that is they didn't keep swapping packages. They didn't let him get, he'd bust off a couple runs and they pull him out. If you're the number one running back, the only reason why they should pull you out is if you just busted a 30-yard run and you need to blow real quick, get you some water, and then get you back in the game. That's the only reason he should be coming out of the game. When you let a running backs are very akin to quarterbacks. You got to be in there to get a feel for the game, to get your rhythm going, and that's when everything starts slowing down. And if your game is good enough, you get into that zone, and when you get into that zone, they cannot stop you. When you get into that zone, man, that's like the Thundercats, man. When you pull up that sword, give me sight beyond sight, you start seeing things that everybody can't see. The play's going over here, and you see a hole over there, and you make a cutback, and it's like, how the hell did you see that? When you get in the zone, you see things, everything slows down, and you make good decisions. You make good decisions. That's what happens with quarterbacks. That's what happened with running backs. But you got to let them get into that rhythm. And I'm so happy that they let Miles Sanders be running back one. That's the way it should be. You're going to sprinkle everybody else in there every now and then. I do want to see Chuck, you got me converted, bro. You were the first one talking about Trey Sermon. I looked at some of his film when he was in San Fran. I wasn't really that impressed, but he looked good the few times he was in there last weekend. So I liked what I saw. He looked a lot faster than what I saw before. So maybe it was some other things going on. I don't know. But he looked good. So right now, that's the guy you want to put in to give Miles Sanders a rest. Kenny Gainwell, if you want to leave him in there on screens and pass patterns and stuff like that, put him in motion, shift to another formation and put him out there as a wide receiver, do that. But Kenny Gainwell is a decent running back, but I want Miles Sanders and Trey Sermon. That's how I think we should do it. So we'll see how they're gonna do that. That'll be interesting. So, injuries. As good as we may be, the success of any team in this league is very, very dependent on how healthy you are at the end of the year. So nobody likes injuries, but at least this type of stuff is happening now. So now you got time to get healthy towards the push at the end. Jake Elliott, we need to get him healthy because we're going to need him. However, Nick Sirianni better stop taking points off the board. If it's 4th down and we in the red zone, kick the damn field goal, man. Take the 3 points. You take the 3 points that one time, there's no question about worrying about if the Jaguars are going to drive down the field and kick a 2-point conversion or make 2 points. That's not even a question. It's out of reach. I know you want to trust Jalen and all of that kind of stuff, and all of that sounds good in the presser. Don't leave points on the field. Kick the field goal, take the points. We'll get another opportunity to get 6. Just saying. Just saying. Patrick Johnson still got the concussion. Avonte Maddox, ankle. I don't know what's going to be. It might be a minute before we see Avonte. But next week we play Dallas, and then we got the bye week. So that bye week, little early, but it's coming at a good time for us. We need to rest. Mailata, I saw that article said he dodged a bullet with his shoulder, so I don't know how bad it was or what exactly had happened. But hey, Driscoll played good at left guard and left tackle. He can move around, so they can use him anywhere. But he played good last week. So, Coach Stout, man, that dude is Hall of Fame level for offensive line coach. So we're good in that situation. Still got a lot of injuries, but we'll do what we got to do. Again, Hassan will go down there and wreck shop. I'm looking for him to have a good game. So, Kelvin, I don't think Mailata's going to play. I think they might dress him. I don't think he's going to play, though. So we'll see. It was very vague in the some of the reports that I read today. So we'll probably find out more about it tomorrow. So we'll see. What are you saying, Joe? Oh, when it's 4th down, kick the field goal, don't leave points on the field. Absolutely. Absolutely. We that's a prime example of, if it works, you're the smartest man in the room. If it didn't work and we would have lost by a point or something like that, we would have killed Sirianni. We would have killed him. So don't even put yourself in that situation. Take the points. Take the points, man. There's no need to do that. Take the points. So I don't know. What was this? Oh, this was just Hassan Reddick's stats for this year: 12 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles. That's what I'm talking about. BG's got what, 1 or 2? But even if you go back, the way our defense is playing, they have a lot of near misses. Near misses. And what I mean is, Hassan Reddick getting pressure, but not quite getting there to get the sack. Not quite getting there to get the sack. BG almost getting there, but forcing the quarterback to step up and do something different. So you almost get there. Stuff like that doesn't come up on the stat sheet because the first, 2-3 weeks, Hassan Reddick's not doing anything. And it's like, yeah, he is doing something. Because you got to remember, if Hassan Reddick is getting pressure and he doesn't get the sack, but the quarterback feels that pressure and he steps to the left and BG is right there, that's how you make a play without making a play. You've heard me say that before. Just because you don't make the play, don't mean you didn't make a play. A lot of times what you do has a direct effect on your teammate on the other side of the ball or right next to you. If a quarterback's focused on me, they're not seeing somebody else coming around the back. And that's how it happens. So Hassan Reddick's going to keep doing what he's doing. BG is playing like BG. I don't see anybody, at least on the defensive line for the Cardinals, doesn't concern me that much. I expect they're not going to run miles like they did last week because of the weather. So we are going to have a fast track, and that's going to benefit us. If they run the same way, if they keep everything, I bitch and moan about the running out of gun, but I can't complain when you get almost 5 yards of carry. I can't do that. That's the gold standard of a running back. As a running back, our goal is 4 yards of carry. That means if you give me the ball 3 times, that's a first down on that third run. That's the goal of any running back at any level. Little league is 3 because nobody punts. High school, college, pro, 4 yards. Give me the ball 3 times, that's the first down. All the way down the field. Run it till they stop it. He's at 5. He's at 4.92. Mathematics, you round up. You know the deal. But they're running the ball. Our offensive line is doing what our offensive line did last year. Keep running behind them big boys and run it till they stop it. I'm still hoping one day they're going to break out. Jalen's under center and we do a lot more play action because I think Jalen would be a lot better from that. Yeah, Pops, they don't rightly do that. Everybody's going to hate. Everybody's going to hate, Pop. Some people still ain't sold on Jalen, but hey, it is what it is. Price of doing business. So you can't keep doing as far as miles. Keep doing what they've been doing. Keep feeding them the ball like they've been feeding them the ball. That is the best course of action. Hopefully, they'll get Trey Sermon in there a little bit more. But when a running back is getting like 15, 20 carries, that's where you need to be. That's where you need to be. So I think we're smart enough to do that. But we got to put it on the field, put it in execution. Our defense, I said this before. I said it early in the preseason after how we made all the signings and everything, and everybody was going nuts because our free agency was off the charts. Howie, in my mind, if the Eagles make the playoffs, Howie Roseman is executive of the year. No question. But our defense, and I said this earlier, months ago, our defense is bringing back the Gang Green defense. That's how well they're playing. As a defensive unit, you are being compared to Reggie White, Jerome Brown, Byron, Seth, Wes Hop, Eric Allen, you are being compared to that defense. You might not be as good, but to be compared, to be in the same conversation is a good place to be. Now, you might look at other places across the league and you see players that you can put in that conversation. But as a whole, our defense, that Gang Green defense is back. And I'm all about that because defense wins championships. People don't, and I love saying it like this. When we won our Super Bowl in 2017, do y'all realize we took Tom Brady's best shot and he came up short because of our defense? Tom Brady and Nick Foles was slinging that ball all over the place. BG gets the strip, they recover, and then they throw the Hail Mary. And the rest is history. But as many points as we were putting on the board, if y'all would have said that Tom Brady throwing for that many yards passing and that many points on the board, no way the Eagles was going, no way Nick Foles and the Eagles was going to make that happen. But we made it happen. And defense made it happen. Defense made that one stop on that one play, and that's what was needed. That was the game changer. So, and I tell people this all the time, as a running back, as an offensive player, I will tell anyone defense wins championships. And I didn't say anything about this in the injuries. Slay's scheduled to play. He had the forearm in it. I'm curious what the forearm thing was. Did he hyperextend? Was it more of an elbow? But he must have had a bone bruise. That's the only thing that can really happen to your forearm, unless they didn't say anything about partial tear, fracture, nothing like that. So he just must have had a bad bone bruise. Because your forearm is more like your shin, just with a little bit more meat. So, but he'll be back. So I'm expecting if he plays, he's going to lock up Hollywood Brown. And like from now on, based on Jeremiah, I was holding my breath too, bro. Going forward, this is what I was saying. Going forward, everybody we plays, the bar has been set. The bar has been set. Who's the best? Right now, the best running back we faced was Swift out of Detroit. The best wide receiver we've faced, in my opinion, is Justin Jefferson. Swift had a good game against us. Justin Jefferson did not. And there hasn't been any running backs since Detroit that have had that much success on us. And I'll say it again, Detroit is not as bad as everybody's saying they said they were. They thinking of Detroit from the past, and that's a different team. We won, but that's a different team. They're going to win some games. So the bar, in my mind, is Justin Jefferson. Who else are we going to play with a receiver as good as Justin Jefferson? Is Marquise Brown, is Hollywood Brown as good as Justin Jefferson? Not in my opinion. Is CeeDee Lamb as good as Justin Jefferson? That's a good argument. That's a good argument. But I think we can handle it. I think we can handle it. So we'll see what's going to happen. Who's playing tonight, by the way? Who's on in the chat? Who's our Thursday night game tonight? The Is it the Rams? No, it's the Colts and who? Colts? Joe, you think Justin Jefferson is the best receiver that we will play? Okay, Colts and the Broncos. Thank you, TK. So, I mean, but until I see a receiver put something on us, and I haven't seen that yet. In my mind, the biggest matchup for this week, Big Lane and JJ Watt. I saw the article on or the interview with JJ Watt, and like I didn't know that he went through all of that stuff with his heart and all that kind of stuff. That's some scary stuff, man. Very interesting though, because that puts a player in a different mindset. Because you understand what's at stake when something like that happens to you. You don't take anything for granted. You enjoy what you're doing a little bit more. Out the limo. All right, Mom. I'll talk to you later, Mama. When you have something like a life-threatening situation, be it to yourself, to a loved one, or something like that, that puts you in a different frame of mind, and you don't press like you used to press, because ultimately you don't care. That stuff don't matter. You know what I mean? It's just there are other things that you're worried about. Let me say it like that. Other things that you're probably worried about. But that can cause somebody to play better because they are not pressing. They are not worried about all the other BS that you normally would. Like, dude, I don't care. I'm just going out there to have fun. And sometimes that makes somebody dangerous. So, but if there's anybody you don't want even more dangerous, that's JJ Watt. But if anybody can handle it, Big Lane can handle it. So they battled before in the past. So I expect Big Lane to be stout and handle his business. I think we'll be okay. But people just, they act like JJ Watt just forgot how to play football. No. Not at all. Get that out of there. I'm running out of slides here. Oh, we talked about this. That's Slay all day. Hollywood Brown, Slay will handle that. Hollywood Brown is a good receiver. He is not someone, I would not put him in the same class as Justin Jefferson. Not yet, anyways. He's right on that same level to me as Devontae Smith. So, but your quarterback's got to get you the ball. Yeah, Joe, I'm with you, though. Lane Johnson is still a beast, man. And don't forget it. But Slay, CJG, or CGJ, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, they'll be able to contain Hollywood Brown. That will be a byproduct of our defensive line getting pressure on Kyler Murray. So everything works together, man. Everything works together. So it'll be interesting. I don't expect my prediction for the game is the Eagles 31, Cardinals 14. That's what I'm looking. I want to, now that we got over that hump of scoring in the second half, third and fourth quarter points, let's do it some more. Let's have some opportunities and not do the let's go for two, put the points on the board, kick the field goals. Do what you got to do to put the game out of reach. That's what we got to do. It's that simple. It's that simple. So nothing is gonna. I don't see anything unless some surprise happens. I don't see the Cardinals beating us. I will take our defensive line over their offensive line. We're gonna wreak some havoc. Like I said, we have to contain Kyler Murray. That is the biggest thing right there. Got to contain him, man. Got to contain him. He's probably gonna have a couple plays where he burns us, gets outside. He's gonna have his plays. You can't get around that. He's that type of player. He's gonna get his. But Binks 301, what are you asking, dude? Come on. Am I sold on Hurts, or do I still need more games? I'm sold, bro. I don't know anybody else in the chat. If you sold on Hurts, just type sold in the chat. I don't understand what else you need to see. Because now a valid criticism would be, I need to see him play against better teams or winning quarterbacks or playoff quarterbacks. Yeah, but that's kind of unfair because he doesn't play against the quarterback. He plays against the defense. Now, the question should be, can he outscore another, a Tom Brady, or pick whatever quarterbacks that's playing well right now? Can they outscore him? Can he beat him? Right now, he can. I think he can beat other quarterbacks throwing the ball. That is the big difference, throwing the ball. That is the difference right there. Because that was the one criticism, fair criticism, was he couldn't throw the ball well. His accuracy was garbage. His anticipation was garbage. He threw 3 or 4 picks last year because he didn't throw the ball on time. And he didn't really throw a lot of picks last year. So he's only going to get better the more he plays, the more comfortable he gets. Now, the one thing that worries me, and I'm looking far into the future, is everybody's been talking about Gannon getting a head coaching job. What if Shane Steichen gets one? And he takes the offense with him. So does Jalen Hurts have to learn another offense again? And then we got to see what this new offense holds. And, it goes back into you get a lot of coaches that come in and try to do their thing regardless of the personnel that they have. And that's not the way to do business, in my opinion. When you're a coach, you got to know your personnel. You got to know every player on your team and what they're capable of. Then you make your plan. You don't just say, this is what we're going to do. If you're not, you got to do it. You get no, you find out what everybody's good at and you put them in a position where they can succeed. That's why Bill Parcells was good. Bill Parcells kind of did it the other way around. He was like, I'm going to get the best guys to do what I need them to do. And if you're not the best guy, I'm going to get rid of you. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get rid of you. That's what Bill Parcells could do. Jimmy Johnson was the same way. Jimmy Johnson was the same way. He was not afraid to cut somebody who wasn't getting it done. Looked bad, but he got him 2 championships, 2 Super Bowls. So this year, it looks like Sirianni and more so Howie are making those hard decisions on which players to keep and which players got to go. Yeah, Joe, you got a game plan your offense, but you also got to know your personnel. I think we're kind of saying the same thing. Like, I wouldn't, like when the whole thing with Rager was going on, I ought to put Rager in motion and motion him to the slot and hit him with a quick slant every time. Get the ball in his hands quick and let him use his speed and quickness and make something happen. Eventually, something's going to pop. That's what you do. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, same thing. You guys have heard me say this before. Listen, you 6'3". Your mama's an Olympian basketball player or whatever, and your dad was an Olympian, so you got the genes, dude. Every time J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was on the field, I'm throwing him the ball, but what I would tell him is, every time you catch the ball, I want you going up in the air like you dunking with 2 hands. That's what I would tell J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Because the kid was, 6'3"? Like, use that size. Clearly, he wasn't as fast as he thought he was. He couldn't get separation. So you know what? Why do you think they was trying to move him to tight end? That boy ain't no tight end. That boy ain't gonna block a soul. But what you can do is say, okay, what I'm gonna do is throw you the ball on an out, and you go up and get it. Should nobody out jump you? Rager's hot cross buns. Yeah, he didn't have a good run, man. And listen, man, Rager had all the tools, bro. Rager, people, I guess people don't really they didn't understand how fast Jalen Rager was. There's a reason. I wouldn't have made the pick. I would not have gone giving up Justin Jefferson for Jalen Rager. However, the tapes on Jalen Rager ran like a 4.2, 40 yard. Jalen Rager is fast, but he couldn't put it all together on that field. It's mental. It is a mental game. The same situation was going on for Nelson Aguilar. I didn't want to see the Eagles get rid of Nelson Aguilar because I thought Nelson Aguilar was a player. But what happened? He dropped that one ball in the game. Next thing you know, the whole city's all after him. They making T-shirts about him. All that nonsense. Forgetting the fact that same game where he dropped that ball, he made an incredible catch and touchdown where he shedded like two players, did a spin. Like he made up for it. Like people forget that. They just want to remember the bad stuff. And it's like, you can't do that. What happens when you draft measurables over skill set? Everything is in scouting report said he would be a good receiver because, and this sounds cliche, but Jeremiah, this is the truth. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like that. Why, my story in college was I was basically not recruited that much coming out of high school. I was a late bloomer. My high school was ranked 12 in the country. So we balled. So I had scouts looking at me. But I only got offers from one Division I school, which was Toledo. And I got an offer from Indiana State. University of Kentucky wanted me to walk on. And it was Indiana State I can't even remember, but they were all basically 1A school and the rest were AA school. And Eastern Kentucky really didn't recruit me because they didn't think they could get me. I got lucky going to Eastern Kentucky. But when I got to Eastern Kentucky, everybody there was from Florida. So the kid from Cincinnati wasn't getting too much play. But when my opportunity came, I didn't get off the field. And I'm saying that to say it comes from places where you just don't look. How many times do people not get drafted? Look at Seth Joyner. Seth is the Eagles Hall of Famer. Great career. Seth was an eighth round draft pick. Seth was an 8th round draft pick in the 80s. They don't even draft to the 8th round anymore, I don't think. But somebody that good, like, that stuff just doesn't come out of nowhere. So why is it everybody misses people like that? Because for every Jalen Rager, you got that kid, that dangerous kick returner, punt returner in Dallas that played in the USFL and had to take his lumps in all these other minor leagues and indoor leagues and arena leagues and finally got on a real field and finally got the attention of somebody and got in the camp and showed out. You're not going to tell me that kid, I forget what his name is, but you can't tell me that kid didn't have those skills coming out of college. Wasn't drafted. Nobody wanted to give him a shot. Clearly, the boy is fast as all get out. So what? did they read his 40 time wrong? No. You can't do that. People miss all the time, but they miss both ways. You got some people that the first round picks and they don't do a daggone thing. And you got these people that got to grind their way up to the top. So it is what it is, man. It happens both ways. Sure enough, what's good, man? Yeah, D1 AA, man. That's what it's at. They don't even call it 1AA. Football championship subdivision, all that kind of stuff. It's crazy. But all right, man, I'm going to get out of here, man. Birds this weekend, 31-14. Defense is going to handle their business. Birds will be 5-0. And we will be getting ready for Dallas. And then Philadelphia is going to collectively lose their stuff because it's Dallas week. So, but we shall see. Enjoy your Thursday night football. Be safe out there and keep checking me out on my social, trying to do some different things. Check out my YouTube channel. And I'm going to have some stuff out there. So I will see you guys next week. I appreciate you. And I will see you next time. Let's go. Go Birds.